They're off in the Kentucky Derby. Fierceness had an okay start. He came away in the middle of the pack. Track Phantom will go to the early lead, and now John Velasquez gets Fierceness into the mix. Stronghold is there. Epic Ride goes up on the far outside. Just Steel is close up too as they race past the first time. And then comes Mystic Dan down on the inside of West Saratoga. Resilience is next. Then comes Society Man on the outside of Just a Touch. Catalytic along the rail. Nordic is next, saving all the ground into that turn. Then comes Catching Freedom, Domestic Product, Rambo the first. Then Japan's Forever Young down on the inside. Sierra Leone has 3 horses beaten. They are T.O. Password, Honor Marie, and Endlessly. So this important half mile coming up here. They run that first half in 46.63 seconds. Pace is even enough, not flying. Track Phantom the leader. Just Steel perched up on the outside second. Fierceness is third just outside of them. Then Stronghold, Mystic Dan to the inside. And Epic Ride 3 wide. West Saratoga in behind that group. Then Stronghold, he's got 7 lengths to make up. Look back for Sierra Leone. He's still about 14 lengths behind as Track Phantom passes the half-mile pole with the lead. And Fierceness is moving now. And going right with him is Just Steel. The 3 of them across the track. Then Longshot Epic Ride. Mystic Dan toward the inside. Stronghold is next. Then Fierceness. Sierra Leone and Forever Young still with work to do. Forever Young is starting to pick it up as they come toward the top of the stretch. It is Fierceness who's moving up on the outside of Track Phantom. And there on the far outside, here comes a run from Stronghold and Resilience. And Resilience has now moved up to take the lead as Fierceness is given way, coming by the 16th pole. And Mystic Dan is now come through on the inside. It is Mystic Dan down toward the inside with the lead in the final 16th. Forever Young, Sierra Leone is coming. These 3 coming down to the wire. Who's it going to be? Oh, it's a photo of the Derby. Oh, it's a photo. Was it Mystic Dan or was it Sierra Leone?
It sounded like the track announcer in the final 100 feet had no clue who was the final 100 yards.
Yeah,
He had no idea who was in front because they were so bunched up.
yeah, and I mean, for the fans' sake, that's exactly what you want. You want a great race. You want a race that's suspenseful, and that was that and more. And what we didn't have a winner in the race, but you did, correctly pick Fierceness to finish 15th in the race.
I did, and I think that if Sierra Leone would have got off a little bit better, he would have won the race because he had a lot of ground to make up and more than even usual, and to navigate because he was trapped or parked or stuck at one point before he could make his move.
Yeah, and you also see one thing you saw there near the end of the race, Sierra Leone and the Japanese horse, not T.O. Password, the other one, Forever Young. Both those horses were bumping in the stretch. But if you were to see the head-on replay, not head-on applied directly to the forehead, you will see the jockey for Forever Young almost got unseated because he wasn't prepared for that hit that his horse took from Sierra Leone.
Looked like he was going to climb off his horse and onto Sierra Leone at one point.
Well, maybe he realized the 2 could win more than his horse, so hey, why not?
Yeah, 2 jockeys has got to be better than 1, maybe.
Yeah, but that's another 126 pounds he's got to carry. But we're here on this Saturday for another edition of also eligible. Joe Quills and AJ Johnson with you here. We'll talk a little bit more about the Derby, and we got 2 races we're going to look at today. We're going to look at the Peter Pan, which is a prep for the Belmont in 4 weeks, and the Long Branch, which is opening day at your favorite track, Monmouth Park.
Yeah, it's my home track. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's my home track.
All right, home track. Okay, I used the
I
wrong
can
word.
tell you my least favorite track, Meadowlands.
Yeah, And I just think we just caught that on an off night, a dark day for live racing. Maybe last night it was hopping a little bit more because they had live racing there last night. Maybe that's what it
Didn't
is.
you feel like an episode of the first 48 could just break out at any minute while we were there?
Yeah, yeah. But then again, I live in Philadelphia and I've seen a lot worse just walking down the street. You know,
Yeah.
you know, wondering where the gunshots are coming from and stuff like that. But we won't get into that.
I was excited though because they had the FanDuel Sportsbook.
Yeah,
And I won't go on a big long thing here and hijack you, but I've been to one FanDuel Sportsbook in Phoenix. The place was beautiful. It was the place to be. People were in there, upscale, drinking, watching races, watching games. I mean, I thought, all right, this is going to be just like this. It really, really, really cool. And it was the complete opposite of any of that.
yeah,
And it was depressing because I'm so high on FanDuel because last week for the Derby, I was gonna go because I'm not going to go all the way to Gulfstream and fight the Miami traffic. So we have a shutdown dog track here, the Palm Beach Kennel Club, where we can go
yeah,
and simulcasting. But I was just thinking, you know what? Let me try to do it online. So I went through everything with Daily Racing Form and the TFG or whatever the hell it is, and I was having trouble getting set up because it's been so long since I used them. So I logged into my FanDuel account, which I have not used in 100 years since Fantasy back in whatever, '08, '07,
yeah,
'09 when they came out with it. And it was easy. I got in, I bet the races it was easy. And then I spent a few days with you in Jersey this week
yeah,
and started using the FanDuel app for my sports betting, and I absolutely huge, huge FanDuel fan right now. I'm coming out and saying that. I mean, gigantic FanDuel fan. I can't say enough about how great FanDuel the app is, and we're gonna start saying a whole bunch about it. So
yeah.
FanDuel has horse racing.
Yes, they do.
Um, Now, I don't think that this promo link click through on the link. You'll get that bonus. I don't know that it's going to apply to horse racing, but I will tell you that FanDuel gave me more bonuses and boosts and promos this week, and I was not a new user than other apps have given me in years combined. So
Yeah,
FanDuel,
yeah, yeah. And I use the FanDuel app. I use the TVG app. I was even testing the TVG app when we were at the Meadowlands, if you remember, because I told
yes,
you that in the state of New Jersey they have. I mean, can I say monopoly on the horse racing where it's only TVG right now? Now
you can say that.
yeah, and I'm also hearing rumblings because since it is opening day at Monmouth Park, and I'm going to give you a little heads up, you can watch the Monmouth Park races on FS1 or FS2. I think it's going to be FS2. I haven't looked at the guide on my TV, but you can watch the Monmouth Park races every Saturday and Sunday. They have an agreement with NYRA, the New York Racing Association. So you're going to see a race from Belmont at the Big A, aka Aqueduct, and you're going to see Monmouth like every 15, 20 minutes apart throughout the day today. And every Saturday and Sunday until uh, the end of June.
Nice. Is the sports book that's at Monmouth, is that a FanDuel sports book? Do you know? I know they have one. I
Um,
know that it was nice a few years ago when I was there. I just don't know if it's a FanDuel sportsbook or not.
I am not sure. I'm going to look that
The
up here.
sportsbook saved that track. That track was about to go under,
Yeah,
and the sportsbook saved it.
yeah, if there was two good things that Chris Christie did for New Jersey, it was, being on that beach during COVID where we could all make fun of him, and
Absolutely.
being part of the lawsuit that allowed sportsbook wagering in America.
Do you think they paid him off in donuts?
Donuts, cookies, the entire menu of McDonald's, you name it. And just to confirm, Monmouth is not associated with FanDuel. They're associated with Caesars.
Okay. Hey,
So
and I like Caesars. We
yeah,
love Caesars also.
yeah,
I did use the Caesars. I was trying because I'm so limited down here to just one app, and it sucks, but it's better than nothing. So I
yeah.
used when I was up there this week, FanDuel a lot, Caesars, Bet365. Um, I liked
And
Caesars. I liked FanDuel. I like Bet365 also. They not Bet365. I'm sorry, BetMGM.
yeah,
I don't care for Bet365 as much as the other ones, truthfully and honestly.
well, I kind of like Bet365.
All right, hey, everybody teach his own.
Well, you told me to play Oklahoma City. I opened up the account. I used a promotion. And since I'm in Pennsylvania, I can't use it right now. I would have to go across the river. But I played that tip that you have for Oklahoma City. So for
Did
game
it hit
one,
that day?
yes, it did.
Yeah, and it hit.
Yeah,
Damn.
so I didn't get my money back from my initial deposit. That's because I won the bet. Then in our downtime on Wednesday, I decided to dabble in the casino.
The
And don't
online casino on
yeah,
365.
I
Okay.
was like, all right, well, I'll lose 20, $40 and I'll just say that's it. It started hitting. I got one where, I got like 20 some bucks. All right, so I'm about even. Then boom, I hit a major jackpot for $1,000.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, buddy. There's
And
nothing wrong with that.
it hit my bank account late last night, so I am all set to distribute to all the sports books, a little bit here, a little bit there, and see if I can grow some.
So that's a question that a lot of people have is that they don't trust the sports books. Right? They put money in. So you put money in on Monday, Tuesday, somewhere around there into this app. You
Uh,
just opened it,
Tuesday night, yeah,
right? Tuesday. You hit the jackpot on Wednesday.
yeah,
You withdrew the money and you already have it in your hands,
yeah. I,
in
I
your
would,
bank account. Okay.
yeah, I withdrew it Thursday morning, and what Bet365 does now. I don't know what the other sports books do because I'm just like, all right, withdrawal, and that's the end of it, and I'll just wait for it to hit my bank account. Bet365 gives you 24 hours to cancel that if you choose to do so.
Oh, to leave your money in, you mean?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And since I don't know when the next time I'll be back in New Jersey, I just said, all right, let me get the entire money out just so that it's just not sitting there for in case I need it.
If I was, let's say Jersey or any state was closer to me that I could go and access FanDuel and Caesars, I would be driving. I would drive an hour to do that every day.
Yeah.
I was in the airport boarding the plane, putting crazy prop bets in because FanDuel was giving me so many promos and boosts for that day. And I
Yeah.
knew that they would expire and I wouldn't be able to use them. They really, uh, good customer, I don't know, service, but they treated me well.
Yeah. Yeah. And they know once they got you in, you're going to take care of that promotion. Then on top of that, oh, well, maybe we'll play OKC Dallas tonight, or we'll play the Rangers and the Hurricanes, or or we might say, oh, my Phillies are playing the Marlins, and I may not want to play the money line, but let me see, Harper did a home run. Yeah, sure, I'll play that as well. Something like that. They know that
They
they know
literally
that.
gave me on after using it for 2 days, they gave me on whenever I left Jersey, Thursday,
Yeah,
a 50% deposit bonus. They said if you deposit up to $1,000, we'll give you 50% of whatever you deposit. So I'm like, this is a no, that's a win.
yeah,
So even if I deposit and I don't come back and use it, of course I can withdraw it, but I'll be back up there at some point. So it's just money in the bank and I get an extra $500 out of it. It was
yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah. And with the way that you travel, who knows? Maybe wherever you go next, they allow FanDuel, and boom.
I already scouted it out, buddy. They do. I'm going to DC. I'm going up to meet with Sleepy Joe in about a week and a half, a little over a week. So me and Sleepy Joe will be eating
Nice.
ice cream, sniffing each other, and betting on some basketball.
Well, I don't think he'll be sniffing you because you're over the age of 18.
Yeah, you might be right, but I'll be on a class trip, so he
Hope,
may be indirectly sniffing the children
yeah.
that I was just
Uh,
around before I before I come in from my meeting.
I thought it was a business trip that you're going on.
No, 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 I'm going on a class trip, buddy. I believe me, I would never go to Washington D.C. You could tell me you were going to murder my dogs and my entire family, or I have to go to DC. I'd say, well, you know what? I can get a new dog, get a new family. But this is a class trip, and they need chaperones, so I'm
Yeah,
going.
yeah, and you get away for a day or two or however long that trip is, right?
Man, 5 days, but I get FanDuel for 5 days. So I either
Wow.
be rich or broke.
Well, the way that you're making your picks, it may be richer and richer and richer.
Yeah, let's hope. But I don't know about richer, but rich. Hope. But
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, but you've been cashing a lot more than me. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I mean, the last two, I don't know what I've been calling, and you can go back. That's what I love about doing these streams is you can go back and check the video.
Hmm.
I've been calling the Knicks to represent the East for months, probably since January in the NBA Finals, and for some stupid reason, I keep seeing Indiana. So I've lost 3 games in a row that I should cover because I've been calling the Knicks for 6 months now. But yet I win Indiana 3 games in a row. And last night with that other game, yeah, I guess you can't be surprised that championship pedigree stepped up last
Hmm.
night with Denver. But I really thought Denver was toast.
Yeah, I thought they were
I just
too.
I
Um, but I
anything
really,
can happen in both of those now.
yeah, and we'll see. We'll see if the experience of Denver trumps the youth and will the win that Minnesota has here with that new energy that they have right now.
They don't want to go down. Denver does not want
No,
uh, Dallas to get to 3 because do you know Kyrie Irving is something he has the all-time best, even better than Jordan. I think he's 13-0 in closeout games when his team needs to win. When his team needs to win to clinch and move on, he's undefeated and he steps up every time.
and he's had key shots in those elimination games as well.
Yeah, yeah, huge, huge shots.
Yeah, and it's crazy. I mean, we bash him with some of the things he says and does, but he does it on the court.
Yeah, he does. I think that Denver just came out determined last night. They caught Dallas off guard. I think maybe Dallas thought Denver was done.
Or
So we'll
Minnesota.
see. We'll see what happens. And Minnesota, I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
Minnesota. But we'll see what happens tomorrow.
yeah, and I
Yeah,
think
that's right. Dallas is Dallas is OKC tonight.
yeah,
Minnesota. All right. Yeah, I'm confusing these. Either way, Minnesota. Um, that was the problem last night. Is they have the A-Rod jinx. But today, yeah, I'm mixing these two teams up because it's all running together and I'm handicapping so much stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, tonight is the Dallas OKC, and when I did my numbers this morning,
hmm
the numbers say that Dallas has no shot to win, but because of that, I mean, who knows? It's the experience against the freight train, the young freight train.
yeah.
So I don't know what to do. Obviously, I don't even know who's playing who. I'm confused here this morning, but my
That's okay.
dog is walking around eating shit from the ground, and I got to watch him because he'll eat a lizard or a frog or something. Marley, I blame it on the dog. But go ahead, Joe.
So you can say that this is Marley and me right now.
It is Marley and me and whatever the hell he just ate off the ground.
Marley, me too. Electric Boogaloo.
Boy. I'm like Luch. I'm trying to sneak my dog into. Come here, Mars. Come here. Come on. No, you don't want him. All right.
I see him there behind your AJ tag there. I see him.
Good boy, pal.
So, yeah, so AJ's going to give his picks at the end of the show here as well. We tend to do that as well. As we have with the first part of the show here, we do stray away from the horse racing, and that's fine because we like to keep you on your toes here. And I guess if we do 51% horse racing, it means it's a horse racing show, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we did about 3-4 minutes in the beginning. We showed you that Kentucky Derby race, which was one of the better Kentucky Derbies in the last 10, 15 years. Such a thrilling finish. And hopefully, with these two races today, we can get a thrilling finish here and maybe a winner or two, especially considering we have cross entries here. We have one scratch that I know of right now. We have a little bit of everything here at Aqueduct, aka Belmont at the Big A. So if you're looking for that, if you're looking to play Aqueduct today, it's under Belmont at the Big A. It's just a branding thing because it's Belmont's meet moved to Aqueduct while they do their renovations. And we do have opening day at AJ's home track, Monmouth Park, as well. We had rain yesterday. Don't be surprised if the turf races and the races that we're not looking at are off the turf today. I don't know if there's any stakes races on the turf at Aqueduct. I do know that this race at Monmouth is the only only stakes race on the card. So we'll see what happens with these races, and hopefully we can get you guys two winners here, and we'll see if we can get you some extra cash here because Mother's Day is tomorrow, and get your lady, your mother, your wife, whoever, something nice if you haven't done so already. And us men.
I disagree. It's
Good.
Mother's Day. It's Mother's Day. So for your mother, yes. For your wife is not your mother. If your wife is your mother, then you have serious problems.
Yeah.
But no, that's
Yeah.
I made that clear. I said, you're not my
Yeah.
mother.
And everybody has their own theory on the day, which, by the way, Mother's Day was created here in Philadelphia.
You guys take credit for everything.
I'm not taking credit for it. I'm just.
I'm saying Philadelphia tries to take credit for everything.
I guess we are the birthplace of the country too.
Yeah. And look at where this country is today.
Yeah, but nothing we can do about that. But right now, I mean, we can try to make you guys some extra money here as we head into these two races here today, and let's get to it here on this Saturday, and just looking at the races here. The race at Aqueduct is the first race chronologically here, so we'll begin with that race here, and it is the Peter Pan, and they're going 1.125 miles on the main track. The track will be fast. It's already fast right now. We do have one scratch that we know of so far, and that is the 5, which is Tuscan Gold. The reason why he's scratched, despite being the 2-1 morning line favorite, is because they want to run him in the Preakness next weekend. So they figure that they'll get that, go for the extra money here, and he may have a shot, or he may just bounce off of that. But we got 7 horses that right now that are in. Now, also, one thing I look for.
4 is scratched too.
The 4 is scratched? Okay.
4 just scratched also, yeah.
Okay. That has not updated on my screen yet.
Lonesome Boy.
Okay. And I was kind of expecting that with my article that is coming out after the show. And if you want to check out my articles, Quills Picks Winners. It usually drops in the 11 o'clock hour. And I did say that I would not be surprised if Lonesome Boy was scratched because he was the cross-entered horse. He's going to be running at Monmouth because he's 21 on the morning line here. Obviously, got scratched. He's running at Monmouth. That saves a little bit of angst for us here as we look at these two races here. So we're looking at 6 horses here. Not exactly a race here that would be that attractive to some people, but this is a good race that you could get an idea of like what horses may be going to the Belmont. And I just need to look one thing up here real quick.
So Lonesome Boy scratched out of the Peter Pan to go race in a $500 claimer at Monmouth today?
No, he's running in our second featured race, the Long Branch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the good thing is with the daily racing form over the last couple of years is they will tell you also entered or entered 11 May 24 7 Monmouth for Lonesome Boy. So that does tell you on the daily racing form if you were just to get it in print, or in my case you're looking at it the night before, or even at 8:30, 9 o'clock this morning, you do get that notification. So but always, this is about the time of the morning where you start seeing the early scratches, and things do change over the course of a day. And unfortunately, we do have 2 scratches here. Lonesome Boys the connections are doing the smart thing and going to an easier race. And we'll see what we can do with this 6-horse field at Belmont at the Big A.
So who do you like? How do you see this race?
What I look first thing, the Wine Steward's going to be tough here. Just couldn't catch Encino, who was on the lead. Encino went gate to wire there. He's going to be tough there. But the horse that I like, and even though his Beyer speed figure went from an 80 to a 92, I'm still tossing that race for Antiquarian. Because, first of all, he's shortening up. But the reason why I am tossing that race is he broke through the gate before the start of the race. So some of that energy he probably had was lost when he went through the gate. He didn't go more than 3 steps outside the gate that caught him instantly. Or I don't even think they had to catch him. It was just he got pulled up 1-2 steps away. So he didn't lose that much energy, but it's still enough where if you have a betting platform where you can cancel a wager and you had him in the Louisiana Derby, you could just say, I'm not going to play this horse now. Let me cancel this win wager that I have on Antiquarian. Like, for example, when I'm at Parks and you play a paper ticket wager, I don't think you can cancel that ticket out. You're stuck with it. But it just depends on the computer platforms that these programs have where you can cancel or not cancel. But these ADWs, you can cancel out these wagers if you're like, I don't like that 6-horse breaking through the gate or whatever number he was that day.
So you think he would have run? So he ran a 92 after breaking through. You think that if he doesn't break through, he's got more energy and he's running a 95, 96, 97?
You never know. He might have won the race. I mean, he wasn't far off the pace. He flattened in the stretch, but maybe he flattened because some of the energy that you want to have at the end of the race was used at the beginning.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so that's the horse I like here. Keep an eye on the 7 deterministic. Now, this will be an interesting race here if you like the horses that bounce. And deterministic definitely bounced in the wood. Um, Now, we'll see here today if he's a horse that can go 9 furlongs, to go the 10 furlongs that this year's Belmont is, going a mile and a quarter. We can see if he has the ability to go that distance, or he can take advantage of the setup of Aqueduct Racetrack or Saratoga now that they brought that mile chute back. Maybe he's a mile horse on the dirt. Maybe he's a 1 turn horse or a turn and a half like Saratoga's setup. But we'll see today if he can go 2 turns at 9 furlongs, or maybe he's a miler on the dirt, and or maybe he's a 7 furlong to 1 mile 1 turn race. Maybe he's that type of horse. This is the perfect time to find out what you have planned for this horse for the rest of 2024, and if he runs in 2025, what he'll do next year.
Going with the 2, Unique Insight. Second race off a layoff. Moved forward dramatically as far as his speed numbers
Yeah.
on the first race back. So that's, I mean, I know Wine Stewart. I want to make money.
Yeah.
Wine Stewart ain't going to bring me no money in. I mean, 7-2 is not bad, but he's probably going to be a lot shorter than 7-2 at post time.
Yeah. Because you got 2 scratches here
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
that we know of so far.
Yeah. I mean, the only bomb in the whole race is the 8, right? And you know what? The 8's not that much of a bomb. I'm going to go with the 2.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
I want to try to make some money. So
Yeah. And I'm going with the 6 Antiquarian. The one thing is sometimes you can, some people are the type of bettors where they'll see John Velasquez riding. They'll see Todd Pletcher's the trainer. They'll see that connection, and they'll say, "Oh, I got to play this combination." And with New York racing this time of the year, the the horse trainer combinations cancel each other out because you have the top jockey trainer combinations racing against each other. So there isn't a distinct advantage, but sometimes you get that advantage, and I don't necessarily pay attention to it all the time. I kick myself in the tail afterwards, but hey, you're going to, hindsight is always 2020, and the thing that I like most about horse racing, it's one big giant puzzle you try to solve and try to make some money along the way. So I'm looking at the 6 here. AJ's looking at the 2. When my article drops next hour, I do have the 2 mentioned here, I believe. No, I do not. Okay, so that means AJ's going to hit on this race here. So, but I have it as 6371 here on the article here. 6 is my play for this race here. AJ's going to go with the 2. Maybe I fade my pick and go with AJ's pick, or maybe I just go with mine. We'll find out about 3 o'clock today. So, any other thoughts on this race here, AJ?
no, I mean, there's not. No,
Okay.
that's my thought is if I want to make some money, I like the 2 based on what I look at when
Yeah.
when I'm at the track.
Yeah.
The what was I looking at? Yeah, there's not a lot here.
No.
It's 6 horses.
Yeah, and it was a field of 8. Thursday we heard about Tuscan Gold going to Pimlico next week. It just happens this time of the year, and some connections are aiming for the big races like the Preakness next week, and some are starting to go to these state named derbies that are going to start popping up week after week starting next month, like the Ohio Derby, the Iowa Derby, uh, the West Virginia Derby in August, the Pennsylvania Derby in September. They start targeting all those races as well, and you know, cash some nice checks along the way as well.
Any Uncle Ernie updates? You get any notifications on him? What he's doing?
I have not as of yet. Let me just.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to do a quick search on that here as well, and
I'm looking at this Monmouth race.
okay,
I mean, the first instinct in this Monmouth race is the 8 horse because Joe Bravo is on the 8 horse,
yeah, that's your boy.
and he's not necessarily that he's my boy, but for many, many, many years, a long time ago, no one could touch Joe Bravo in New Jersey,
Yeah,
especially at Monmouth. Now you take him out of Jersey, he's an also ran most of the time.
yeah,
But
but
he was the king of the Jersey Shore long before the situation Paulie D and Snooky came along.
and he for a long time was the only jock to win more than one race in the Pennsylvania Derby. He
Is
was
that
the
right?
first. He was the first one to get two. He was the first one to get three. I believe Mike Smith tied him with three wins over a 4 year period because he always came in for the Baffert horse. Um, but just a little fun fact there. So I'm looking here at Uncle Ernie. I'm looking at the. I'm looking at Twin Spires because I can see when there was the last update. Um, he did have a workout on the mud May 11th. May 11th, which is this morning, as a matter of fact, went
Hmm.
47 and four furlongs in the mud. Fourth out of 34 horses going that distance. So pretty good run there by him. But of course, is it going too fast? Is it exactly what you wanted? So it looks like our boy Uncle Ernie will be running. Where we don't know, probably an allowance at Parks because take advantage of that Pennsylvania bread money, where uh, Gil can get an extra 40% if his horse wins. So if it's a $50,000 race, he gets 32, and then add 12 more. So he would get $44,000, and the purse bumps to 62.
That's what Gil's looking for is the
Yeah,
money.
yeah. So he did have a workout today, which means that Uncle Ernie is healthy, unless like for example in Sino they found a slight issue and they said, all right, well we can't run him in the Derby, we can't chance that. You check to see if the horse is sound, and that's definitely something we're going to see in the next couple of weeks. And um, and with this time of the year, even though Gil will keep him at Parks or in Pennsylvania, um, I'm sure John Service is looking over the condition books because they're so easy to get right now on Equibase. You can pull up any tracks condition books where they tell you the races that they want to run, and it's like not 5,000 non-winners or two, or an optional claimer going 6 furlongs on the dirt, or in a couple of weeks the turf season begins at Parks, and you'll say, oh, there's a 5 furlong sprint on the turf for going for $60,000 or something like that. Something like that. You can look ahead and you can, and especially a stable like John Service, or if you got even uh, a bigger race there, you could actually pinpoint your uh, pinpoint your horse's path for the next few months if you choose to do so. And Luch, no, I know that's something unrelated to what we're talking about here, but our boy
Luch has
Uncle,
Tourette's.
yeah, Um, but our boy Uncle Ernie is not eligible for the Haskell because he is a 6-year-old. 6-year-old gelding. He has to be a 3-year-old to run in Haskell. And some of the horses that we saw from last week in the Kentucky Derby may end up at the Haskell in July. Some of the horses that may run in the Preakness that are the quote unquote new shooters, they will be there. Who knows? Um, but that's a big summer race for 3-year-olds that comes up uh, as AJ and Luch are having a fun little thing there as well. So, but yeah, so Uncle Ernie did work this morning. Looks like a good work there, and I'm expecting an email from the Daily Racing Forum within the next week or two, uh, planning, whenever he's going to run next. But this time of the year, with all the different tracks opening in the Mid Atlantic, even though Uncle Ernie will be at Parks, we're 99.9% sure. With all the different tracks that are opening up and in the area, even though we know he's going to stay at Parks, for example, you can run him at Monmouth. You can run him at Delaware Park, which opens up in a couple of weeks. You can send him out to Penn National for their big day, but there's nothing that he qualifies for. Uh, you never know. And that's the great thing about Equibase is you can download those condition books. You can see where your horses are eligible and say, I want to run my horse here. It's just a matter of getting your horse there to run. So just some little things there. Like if you ever wondered how they get the horses in the race, it all starts with looking at the condition books.
So what are you liking over here in the Long Branch in Monmouth's big race today?
Yeah.
I
Evening News caught my eye. He does get the class relief. But unfortunately, I'm eating chalk here. I'm taking the one Heartened here. Um, Another Pletcher horse, which I didn't even look until now that was a Pletcher horse. Paco Lopez, he's one of the top jocks that is at Monmouth Park, one of the top East Coast jockeys, Mid Atlantic jockeys, and I think this is setting up for Heartened just to blow by everybody in the stretch. Um, the horse that's coming in from Tampa, which had started his career at Camarero, which is a track in Puerto Rico. Um, I think he's going to be at or near the lead. Rapture Boy's going to be at or near the lead if he runs because he's cross center for a race tomorrow at Monmouth.
Now this Puerto Rican horse,
Mhm.
do they hang like fuzzy dice around the horse's neck when he runs down the race? I see he's got Hector Macho Camacho is riding on him,
Yeah.
which I mean, I look for little signs and things like this. So I don't know much about this horse other than because I can't get any of the numbers that I look for out of Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
But he never lost in Puerto Rico. Now, what does that mean? I don't know.
No.
But he's got, out of 5 races in his lifetime, he's got 4 wins and he's got 1 second. And his second was his first race here at Tampa, where he was coming off of a 3.5 month layoff, 3-month layoff. And from what I can see, it looks like he just kind of couldn't get it done. Just couldn't get there at the end. So maybe he needed that race.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Your one horse, almost always in the money. But what I don't like is in the Tampa Derby, he he didn't close the way he wanted to.
But that race, that was that funky race where it was a non-wagering event because the tote board crashed, the tote system crashed, and all that. But
Hmm.
that was such a slow race. I mean, it looked like your typical turf race up in New York where they go 25-1, 51, 116, and everybody's closing to the finish. That's basically what happened in this dirt race, the Tampa Bay Derby, where everybody was running as slow as they could and just turned it into a 3/16 of a mile sprint to the finish, which it turned out to be, and it was a blanket finish with four horses, and he finished fifth, which I didn't think was that bad. It was just you got to look at the pace here, and very rarely do you see 3-year-olds going 25 on the dirt. That level of horses, because they get
Hmm.
wound up. They get wound up, and the next thing you know, like in the Derby, uh, it went 22-4, and I think 46-3. Many races, even the top horses cannot survive on 22-4, 46-3 for set a mile and an eighth, the Derby distance of a mile and a quarter. So, but one thing that does concern me is with this race, we don't know how the track is going to play because it's the first day of the meet, and we may see we may see front running speed all day. We may see closers. We may see a fair track. Take a mental note of it. I mean, I try to, and if and even with a stakes race like this, in my opinion, you could have a race where the first 6, 7, 8, 9 races, depending on when this race would be carded at another track, for example. They put it the seventh race because I think it's because of TV and the association that they have with Fox Sports. You may see front running speed all day, and then you see a closer winning because these horses go too fast, and it sets up perfectly for my horse Heartened, or maybe even the long shot Rapture Bay if he runs. But you get these anomalies that occur at the track, and sometimes you get these trends or biases, as we call them in the horse racing business, where you may get your 8 horse Evening News on the front end, and Joe Bravo um, returns home to win that race.
Who was the horse that came over from Aqueduct? Was it Lonesome Boy?
Lonesome Boy is the 7. He's
Is that the one who was
yes,
scratched in the Peter
yes,
Pan? Okay.
yes, and he possibly could be close to the pace as well. Um, he didn't do that bad in the Wood Memorial. I mean, the numbers. It looks like he could be a high 70s, 80s. He may. You never know because, like I said, it's all part of the puzzle. He may spike a 90, 95 buyer today. Who knows? But he looks like he's going to be forwardly placed as well. Evening News is going to be forwardly placed. C Streak, um, he may be forwardly placed. I think they may stalk him here. Um, but the connections I'm not familiar with. But he dropped from the Holy Bull into a 1 turn mile, and he faced a horse that won by 9 lengths. So, you know, you're 9, and this is how goofy this race was in this field of 5. Knightsbridge wins by 9. C Streak finishes second, 13 lengths ahead of Speed Control. So you could argue, okay, I'm not going to win. Jockey looks back. That horse is 15 lengths behind me. Let's wrap him up and make sure he's healthy for his next race, which is the Long Branch today. You can argue that as well.
All right, so let me ask you this. All right, so there's a couple of horses here. Um, Lonesome Boy being one who ran in the Holy Bull. I mean the Wood.
Yeah.
You got Bravo's horse who ran in the Wood, and now they're running in this $100,000 race at Monmouth. How much of a step down is the competition between running in the Wood to running with all these knuckleheads today?
Like that you're calling them knuckleheads. it is a pretty big drop here. When I look at this, it's not graded stakes, and this race is probably not going to be graded anytime soon or at all. But I really think that this would be a nice get your horse back on track in terms of evening news because he just faded in that
He
race.
died like a pig in
Yeah,
that last race, the Wood, but the competition was a lot steeper.
and you can also argue the bounce factor as well that you're high
Yeah.
on getting back into. Um, Lonesome Boy, he won the City of Brotherly Love at Parks in March. That wasn't that great of a race in terms of who ran in that. I don't think. And I'm sure I will get the hate tweets as well because that race was much better than you thought. Yeah, I didn't watch the race in preparation for the show, so I can argue. I can if you say it was a much better race than you're thinking, then it probably was. Um, but you got these horses here, and they're not top notch, but they can steal a race or two, a graded stake race if they get entered and they find the right pace, the right setup, no matter what it is. So
So so lock it in. What is your pick and what is your exacta in this race?
I'm going with the one heartened, and my exacta is 1-8. So I got your 8 in there.
All right, here's what I'm going to do. And I am immediately, when we get done here in a couple of minutes, is I'm going to go onto my FanDuel app and I'm going to bet this. It's the only horse race that I'm going to bet this weekend. But I'm going to box evening news because maybe the step back down in class corrects him. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe he dies like a pig again today. But Monmouth Park opening day, Joe Bravo. So it's hard to not have that somewhere. And just for the fun of it, I'm going to go with Hector Macho Camacho and Sugar Boy
Okay.
because I like that it's his second race back.
Yeah.
He ran good on his first race. Again, now but I don't know, what is a grade 1 in Puerto Rico as opposed to a
That,
grade 1
that's
here?
ex-
It's
that's
probably
exact.
completely different.
Yeah, that's what I said in the article that's going to drop after the show. I said, don't pay attention to the grade 1, grade 2, the grade 2 status of that race. That's relative to Puerto Rico. It's not it's a different system than within the United States. So it's the best within Puerto Rico, but it's not the best within the 50 U.S. states.
I like him stretching out too, going
Yeah.
from 7 furlongs on his second race back. So I'm going to go 2-8 in Monmouth today. I'm going to
Okay.
box it on the
Okay.
FanDuel app. And if you're looking for a place to bet this, if you have a FanDuel account already, then go to FanDuel and they have the horse racing
Yeah.
in there. Or B, if you don't, go to BleacherBrothers.com. Go to Bleacher Bet, scroll down, find FanDuel because they're all friends of ours. But find FanDuel, and if you open up a new account with them, at least as far as sports betting, I don't know that this carries over to horse racing, but I'll clarify it this week with FanDuel. You make a deposit. I think you have to make a $10 deposit. Open the account up, bet 5, and if that $5 bet wins, they'll give you $150 in bonus bets. And
Hmm.
they just dump bonus bets and promos and all kinds of boosts on you all the time. I've never seen anything like what I saw out of FanDuel this week
Yeah.
when I was using them up in Jersey.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the horse racing portion of the app right here. Um, the app, take advantage of that initial deposit.
But use our link so that you
Yes,
get the
yes,
bonus.
yes. Then, if you're using the app or if you're using the web page, go to the racing section. I'm looking at it on my phone right now. There is a no sweat first bet up to $500 for new customers, and new customer would basically be your first wager on their platform. I took advantage of it when it was $100, and my horse won.
They are insane, FanDuel
Mhm.
is, with all the promos and the
Mhm.
daily boosts and specials. And I mean, they dump so much on us every day that
Yeah,
we don't put out. Where the daily promos, the daily
yeah,
specials. It's like, how are we supposed to keep up with
yeah.
this?
And they do have a special today. Now, I'm going to be dabbling on Monmouth Park today. If you wanted to use the FanDuel app, FanDuel Racing app, you do have WinBet insurance at Churchill Downs, all their races. You get a bonus bet back up to $5 if your WinBet finishes second or third. So basically, you're getting your money back if your horse doesn't win. Now, it's all about the number of horses that are in the race as well, but you can also get those wagers as well. So always check the promotions because, take advantage of everything, whether it's, something you get a push notification for on your phone or you just have to search for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And people are skeptical of these apps if they're going to get their money back. You're proof that you put money in on Tuesday, you won $1,000 Wednesday, and you already have the money back in your account.
Yes.
You withdrew. So yes, you do get your money
Yes.
back. And then with FanDuel, I mean, they're the big guys, and they're the big guys for a reason in the industry. And
Yes, they
just
are.
what I saw from them this week when I was able to use them, it was insane. I would strongly, like, if my kid it wasn't locked into the school she's going to, I would move to a FanDuel state. That's how much I like FanDuel.
Yeah.
I would leave free Florida for a lockdown, COVID mask wearing liberal state just so I could bet FanDuel on a daily basis.
Well,
But I got to put the kid first in this one
yeah,
situation.
the only ones that wear the mask right now are the people that don't realize that it's 2024, not 2020.
Anytime I see somebody with a mask, I immediately go into this hysterical cough, like I can't stop purposely, just to freak them out and watch them run away. I love it.
But pre
So,
2020, it was only in the Chinatown section of Philadelphia where there would be wearing masks. So
mm. And Michael Jackson.
yeah, and I think
That was to hide the plastic surgery.
Yeah, yeah. And did you have a play for today in the NBA or NHL?
Here's what I'm giving you. You got to go. You're gonna have to go to the Bleacher Bet Instagram page later today for the NBA picks. But I will give you in the NHL tonight. I'll give you a lock, and this is really this is not me performing brain surgery to give you this lock. Take the over tonight. I believe it's 6.5 in the Stars and the Avalanche game. Over 6.5 goals.
Yeah,
That's a
Colorado
lock.
scores a ton of goals, and um, even if it's just 4-3, it still gets you over that 6.5.
Oh. All right, we're back. We're out of time that quick. We're
Yeah,
back next week at 10, and it's our Preakness show, right?
yes, it is, and hopefully we'll get to pick a Preakness winner for you.
Awesome. And this plan is starting this week on Monday, right? You will
Yes,
be 9 to 11 Monday through Thursday on
yes,
all the Bleacher Brothers streaming networks and your own and 102.9 The Game.
yes. Got to do some work on the computer to get it ready to go, but we'll be there on Monday.
Awesome. So we will see you Monday. We'll see everybody back here next week for Also Eligible. And good luck today, FanDuel.
Yep. Have a great day.